Turn now to that emergency on the International Space Stations. We told you earlier that astronauts on board the ISS have been told to prepare for evacuation. This is over a worsening air leak. In a statement, NASA said this: the Z Service Module Transfer Tunnel, and this is known as PRK, has suffered from cracks and leaks for some time and has been mitigated by Rosneft much as possible to date. Now, the cracks have always been a concern that NASA watches very closely, they say. They also say they've been working to determine the root cause of the cracks and manage the issues through operational mitigation measures and periodic partial repair efforts. But it's, of course, a concern, and this is following new leaks on Rosneft, and it's has elected to proceed with a more extensive repair operation on Friday the 5th, today. Out of an abundance of caution, NASA has directed all four of the agency's SpaceX crew, 12 members, and NASA astronauts, Chris Williams, to assume an elevated safety posture in the Dragon spacecraft while the repair is underway. They'll continue to work with their Russian counterparts, along with the rest of the international community that supports the space station, to arrive at a more permanent resolution. Well, in the last few minutes, we've heard from ground control, actually, in Houston, communicating the space station.
We would like you to execute Wimmer 3.4, Step 5, to deconfigure. In Step 5.2.4, where you equalize, we do expect there will be a short time period for equalization, and we're working the number on that for you now. Once you're done, we'll assess where we're at timeline-wise and determine the path for the rest of the day.
Okay, we copy. So we will pick up in Step 5, meaning we will open all the hatches. We won't have help from our counterparts.
Affirm.
Okay, copy. We are stepping into 3.4, Step 5.
Awesome. And while you guys are in there, because we had the new WAP installed in Node 2, we are curious whether you all were able to get any ops products or CrewNet on your iPads, but that is lower priority test objective of opportunity.
Well, Russia's Roscosmos says there's no risk for crew and systems. They also say, just breaking the last few minutes, that they are preparing to fix a second leak spot. As you can see, I'm joined by space expert and astronaut Pier Wimmer, who joins us now. Pier, thanks so much for joining us today. What a day. What do you make of what we've been hearing?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunately these sort of things that can happen in space. A couple of things I'd play here. For starters, the Russian module here is a bit old. Let's be honest. The space station, as such, is due to retire by 2030, unless some sort of commercial agreement is put in place and it's being sold to a private operator potentially, which could well happen. But let's be honest, this beautiful space station has been up there for a long time, so no doubt cracks will emerge. That's a possibility. The other possibility is that some smaller space debris might have hit it and created a hole, effectively, where the air comes out of it. Now, that's not so uncommon. There is a lot of space debris up there. Space is a vast space, but little debris does fly around. The problem is when you get debris that's bigger than an inch or two, it starts to become a real problem. Don't forget, these pieces of debris are traveling 25,000 miles an hour. So you can imagine anything that travels at that speed is almost like a bullet. And whether it hits a space station or, God forbid, an astronaut who is doing an EVA outside the space station. I mean, a screwdriver, for instance, that may have been lost previously could easily go through one's body at that speed. So it's difficult to speculate at this point exactly what had happened, but these are some of the possibilities. The fact that you're putting the crew into a space capsule is a huge precaution. It's probably overly precautious, but you never know. Once you start to repair this particular hole, it could happen and things go wrong and that becomes a bigger hole. It doesn't strike me as the hole is big enough now to be potentially life-threatening. But if the repair goes wrong, better have the astronauts on standby to go into the Dragon capsule and be ready for a safe descent back to planet Earth. That is an ultimate precaution.
Of course, and it does really sound dramatic to all of us watching this develop here, but it's essentially they're saying that they're concerned enough and they're taking extra safety measures. What will be going through the minds of the astronauts currently up there? What will they be thinking? This is run-of-the-mill, this is what we've trained for? Just some of the emotions that will be going on.
Without knowing it, I bet you that ground control and maybe people in general watching this program are probably more concerned at this point than the astronaut themselves. The reason is that the astronauts are actually close to the action. They can actually do something about it. They can see it. They also know from their training to be alert to such an event. They're absolutely part of their training to prepare, to repair, and also to prepare for anything that can happen. And we know there is a space debris up there, and we know that these sort of things can happen. So they're probably the calmest, rational people because you're close to the action. Sometimes when you're further away from the action, you get a bit more panicky or a bit more emotional. But the astronauts have a great training, solid training, a cool head, and no doubt would be acting quite rationally, doing the procedures that they've been taught during their training, trying to make the repair as swiftly and as solidly as possible, whilst still listening to NASA ground control and their precautions by some of them being ready in the space capsule and ready for exit. So you have everybody coming in here, but I do think the astronauts actually are probably the calmest in this, which might sound counterintuitive, but when you think about it, it actually makes good sense because they're well trained for it. They know what they signed up for, and they are very talented people, also emotionally, i.e. have an ability to control their emotions and staying rational. So it's probably people on ground control and out watching this program that are more nervous at this point in time, I bet you.
Yeah, I think you'll really hit the nail on the head there. I understand that you're heading up to space next year, 2027. I mean, when you see things like this happen, what goes through your mind? Any reservations for you or business as usual?
I've absolutely zero reservations. I am excited and delighted to go into space. I've been waiting for a very long period of time, and I cannot wait to go into space and experience that very unique and privileged experience it is for any human being to be in space, to watch our beautiful, unique Earth from a distance with the blackness of the universe in the background. I simply can't wait. So no, that hasn't deterred me. I'm going. OK, Pierre, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much. OK, some breaking news.